Hello, welcome back to Swiss Watch Gang. Today we have a special review for you guys, and if you love traveling, I think this is a watch complication you need to have in your collection. If you have guessed the picture in the corner correctly last time, you know that today we're going to be talking about the Tudor GMT. So the Tudor GMT was introduced in BaselWorld 2018, and it's the first GMT watch Tudor has released since the beginning of the brand's existence. The Tudor GMT is a watch I have in my collection now since almost 1 year. I got it a few months after BaselWorld because I fell in love with the design of it and the simplicity, and I always wanted to have a Pepsi bezeled watch to travel with. I think it's very cool. You can style it with casual clothing, with sportswear. You can even dress it up a bit if you change the bracelet or maybe change it to a NATO strap. Really depends what the occasion is. When the Tudor GMT came out, it was very well received, but also it came out the same year as the Rolex Pepsi GMT on the Jubilee bracelet. So there was a lot of controversy, and some people thought that it was launched wrongly and at the wrong time. But I disagree. I think it's a great alternative to the Rolex GMT, which is priced way higher than the Tudor GMT. But the quality is arguably not 3 times better. So if we go look at the Tudor GMT, what strikes you at first is the Pepsi bezel. The bezel is actually an aluminum insert made out of colors which are burgundy and dark blue, which give it this nice Pepsi look. And also the blue indicates the nighttime and the red indicates the morning and the daytime. So that's how you also navigate the bezel, and you can actually see if it's day or night time in a second. The bezel is a 24-hour bi-directional bezel, so you can turn it left, you can turn it right as well. And it's very easy to use. The clicks are amazing. I love it when you turn the bezel and you hear the little tuck, tuck, tuck. You prepare the time for it. I just love it. If we look at the case, it is highly polished from the sides and satin finished on the lugs here, which is a beautiful contrast because it gives it this nice touch of elegance as well as sporty. The crown of the Tudor GMT is inspired by the vintage Tudor rose, which is engraved on the crown. It has no crown guards, so it's very easily manipulated. But also there is no protection for the crown in case you hit it, which is a minus in this case. But also it stands out a bit more from the Rolex GMT, which you probably saw a couple of times online already. If we go and look at the dial of the Tudor GMT watch, I think they really nailed it. The dial is black and also textured. It's, for me, beautifully constructed and very balanced out. The only thing I would change, but also it makes sense from a functional standpoint, is the date window. It's at 3 o'clock, it's small, it doesn't have a Cyclops magnifying glass, which I appreciate, so it doesn't look like a Rolex. But if I could choose, I wouldn't have the date window for sure. But that's just because I would like the balance of the 3 o'clock indicator and the 9 o'clock indicator to be the same. But a date window is very useful because it's a travel watch. The dial, as you can see, is very Tudor. What that means is you can immediately recognize the snowflake hands, which you have here at the long, thin, red home time hand and on the hour hand, and also on the sweeping seconds hand. You have your usual descriptions, Tudor on top, Geneva, with the logo. On the bottom you have 3 lines. The first one is GMT. It's a chronometer, which is a COSC certified in-house movement, the first GMT in-house movement from Tudor. The strap combination, I think, is also really elegant in this case. I chose the leather strap, which has a nice brown aged look to it, but also I had the stainless steel bracelet at home in case I need it for the summertime, because leather straps, you can destroy them very easily in summertime. So I used to change either to a NATO strap or a stainless steel bracelet that I have from Tudor as well. And for 300 bucks more, I don't think it's expensive at all. I think it's very well priced. I mean, if we compare the whole watch to the Rolex GMT, the Tudor retails for 3.4 thousand Swiss francs with the leather bracelet. If you want the stainless steel one, also, it costs you only 300 bucks more. I say only because sometimes you pay 300 francs only for like a new leather strap, not the whole stainless steel bracelet. So I think it's very well priced and positioned in its market. And it speaks to also the younger crowd and people who might want to have a GMT Rolex in the future. Maybe they prefer this look of the Tudor, or just the brand is more appealing to them. Or they just simply want to see if they really need a GMT watch before committing to a bigger purchase than the Rolex GMT Pepsi. The leather strap I have here comes on a deployant clasp, which I think is also very cool. The design is nice. It looks like a medieval shield. It has the Tudor name inscribed on it. I think it's laser engraved. You can open it very easily. It feels very secure once you open it. Here you go. Here you can see how you close it from the sides also. And once you have it on your wrist, you really feel secure. You don't have any issues or second thoughts that the watch might come off, which I do have in some cases when I have my other watches on my other deployant clasps. So this is really a nice feeling. As you might have noticed, the case back is actually very special. It's engraved on the back because it was a gift from Mr. Bear in Zurich, Switzerland. It's one of my favorite stores that I've been in so far, and I asked them if they can engrave the logo on the back and a thank you, and they did, which I really appreciate and I cherish it. And this is a watch that will never leave my collection, ever. It will probably go to my nephew or my son in the future and stay in the family as a appreciation gift for my relationship with them. Many people have asked me, how do you set up a GMT watch? Because at the first glance it looks very complicated, because in total you have 4 hands. So the thick snowflake shaped hand is the hour hand, the long white luminous one is the minute hand, here you have the sweeping seconds hand, and the red snowflake tipped hand is actually the home time zone hour indicator once you travel. So when I'm in Zurich, and let's say it's now 4 o'clock in the afternoon almost, I would not even take a look at the red hand, because the red hand, if I'm not traveling, is irrelevant. Unless I set it up for a special time zone, which in this case I didn't, so we'll not look at it now. Let me now show you how you can set up your GMT watch once you get on a flight and arrive at a new destination. So what you actually do with this watch is you have to unscrew it first, because it has a screw down crown. So you unscrew the watch, the crown pops out. So now it's in neutral. In the position it's in now, you can actually wind the watch clockwise. If the watch is not wound, then it's not working because you haven't worn it for a while, for example. And then after you wear it, the automatic rotor kicks in and the kinetic power will wind the barrel, and the watch will function forever if you wear it perpetually. So let's fly to New York. We left Zurich. Once we leave the airport, we want to set up our time for the watch so we are accurate and we know what our family is doing back home. What I would do is look at the hometown in Zurich first, and I would pull out the crown 2 times, and then I would use the red hand as the home time. What I would do is I would turn the crown clockwise, and let's say it's 6 o'clock in the afternoon in Zurich. So I would turn the red hand to 18, which is 6 p.m. and I would leave it at 00 minutes. What I would then do is I would turn in the crown, turn it out, one position, and then I would set up the New York time, which is 12 o'clock, as is now. Last but not least, let me show you how this watch looks on my wrist. The 41mm stainless steel case is, for my wrist, pretty perfect, but I have a chunkier wrist size. And the deployment clasp makes it really easy to use and to put it on and off, as you see now. Once on the wrist, the watch for me feels very comfortable. The strap hugs the wrist perfectly. The size is a bit more bulky, as I would like to, but it's not something that really bothers me. As you can see, the lugs are pretty much hugging the whole width of my wrist, and I just love the design. I think you can dress it up or down, like I said before. You can wear it to a sports gear, you can go jogging with it if you want and you feel like it. It will still look nice. And also you can dress it up, you can go on a nice jacket, a suit maybe as well, and people won't say a thing. You just change it maybe to the stainless steel bracelet, and that's it. What I also love is when you drive a car and you ride into a tunnel and you can clearly see how the luminova is really well put on the indexes and the hands, because it's just very strong. That was it, guys, for today's review. Let me know if you have any questions, just ask in the comments below. As usual, on the side you can see a small picture of a watch we'll be reviewing next, and it's one you don't want to miss. If you know which watch it is, please leave a comment below, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be right this time. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.